Come over here and kiss me on my hot mouth. I'm feeling romantical.
I bet you heard the term, games don't hit as they used to. Can't say it better myself. Like, we used to wake up in the weekend, turn on that PlayStation, and get high on GTA San Andreas. That was the time where passion and love was the sole requirement of a video game. No matter if you were clicking somewhere to move your character or be involved in a gang war. 50% of this feeling is because of nostalgia, but I dare to say the other 50% wasn't a thing. But nowadays, video games don't hit anymore. Either we grow up or they are actually not enjoyable. So it begs the question, why do we experience great video games once in a while in this day and age? I don't think this is because of us anymore. Just look at it this way. I want you to remember a game that you liked back in the day. Now, name 3 characters from that game. Hell, just name 1 mission. And no, name just 1 character from Forspoken. Main character counts too. You see, I don't know what caused this, but one of the important things that affected this is politics and being greedy. Because of that, companies will always find a way to squeeze as much as they could from the classic games. Why video games have remasters at all? Playing your favorite games years after their release come to a cost. Incompatibility with modern hardwares, availability in stores, dated gameplay, and the least important feature, which is dated graphics. For example, GTA San Andreas is one of my favorite games of all time. But god damn it, the gameplay is frustrating by today's standards. The weapon selection and the mission fails are the worst for me. Imagine driving to the mission over and over and over again. Worse than that is when the mission itself have a long ass drive or a stealthy part, which take you 34 years at best for no reason.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Nothing.
Oh shit, here we go again.
I don't say GTA 5 spoiled us with easy mission replayability, but shit, that's frustrating. Because of these issues, the communities will come to rescue and help us by making mods. Mods are a great addition to games. They literally unlock endless features to the game. Sometimes making the game more enjoyable by adding so many quality of life changes to the game, and sometimes making the game more beautiful by renewing the game models and assets. Let's not forget that some people go out of their way to make a brand new game, using the main game as a base and build up on it. These are an amazing way to help the community and the longevity of the game. But I hope more and companies could see this too. Not only do some of them not give a simple thank you, but they also remove some of the mods and sue the creators. That's a cold and soulless act that can't be forgiven at all. Because of those issues and incompatibility of mods on consoles, sometimes it can be unreliable. So companies will remaster the games to breathe fresh air to the game, and sometimes they even remake the game from the ground up. What's the difference between remaster and remake? Imagine it's 15 years ago and you got a brand new car. You drive it, you enjoy it, you go out with it, you go to work, it will change your life. You will hit a person, that person go to hospital, you ran away with your car, you read the news that he's dead, you feel guilty about it, you go to the funeral anonymously, you see your mother there, you get confused, you ask her why she's there, she tells you that was your father, and...
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I think I went a little off topic. So, the car is new and enjoyable, but it gets dirty and broken over time. The electric component will break, the engine won't run like it used to, the seats get scratched, and so on and so forth. So either you buy a new car, which is very expensive, or you would try to refresh the component in your own car. We call this remaster. Remastering a game is based on the main game, but with a fresh coat of paint. They make quality of life and sometimes gameplay changes, installing newer, higher quality assets and new control layouts, etc. to bring the game to modern standards. But Remake is buying that new 2023 car. It isn't just a car with air conditioning, it's a brand new experience. You have satellite navigation, monitors, traction control, a whole fucking PlayStation. Like what Capcom did with Resident Evil 2. GTA IV. Rockstar Games never miss with its products, from table tennis to gang wars and being a psychopath killer. One thing that is universal is the fact that you can't find someone that never had a great memory of a Rockstar game. One of the games that stand out from the other Rockstar titles is definitely GTA IV. Rockstar games, especially Grand Theft Auto, are a parody of modern America. They don't hold any punches and they got into a lot of problems over the past years. And the parody, despite of a real and harsh tone, it's a comedy way to talk about a problem or generally something that you don't agree on. But unlike other GTA games, the tone, the environment and the story is darker in this game. The story is about Niko Bellic, a former soldier from Eastern Europe, who arrives in Liberty City to pursue the American dream and to find the person who betrayed his unit in the war. In the way of doing that, you interact with so many characters and people that by the end of the game you get so attached to them that they become like a real life family. That's what I call good writing. He reunites with his cousin Roman.
Roman! Are you sleeping, you fat fuck?
Who runs a taxi business and owns money to various criminals. Niko works for various crime bosses and gangs, such as Russian Mafia, the Irish Mob, the Pegorino family, and the McCurry family. He also meets and dates several women, such as Michelle, Kate McCurry, Carmen Ortiz, and Kiki Jenkins. He eventually finds out that Michelle is an undercover agent who works for the government agency called United Liberty Paper.
You see, Nico, I have been working for the government.
You fucking bitch.
He is forced to work for the ULP in exchange for their help in finding the traitor. He also worked for a mysterious assassin named the Fixer, who gives him contracts to kill various targets. He eventually tracked down the traitor, who is revealed to be one of his former friends, Darko Breivik, Florin Kravig, or Bernie Crane. He has the choice to either kill or spare him.
You remember me?
Pussy me. I don't know you.
Yes, you do.
He also has to deal with a conflict between two of his employers, Dmitry Raskolov and Jimmy Pegorino. He has the choice to either work with Dmitry or kill him. Depending on his choice, he will face different consequences in the end. The game ends with Niko reflecting on his life and choices in Liberty City. GTA IV versus other GTA games. Crime and breaking the law is a bad thing. I know you're a good boy and know that, but someone should explain it to these morons. The bad thing aside, the idea of shooting a gun, drifting a car and flying a plane is so fun, and where is a better place to do them than video games? And that idea was the inspiration for the creation of the GTA series. GTA started from the PS1 era with Grand Theft Auto. It was a 2D crime simulator that was so unique for its time. When the PS2 came out and the hardware was more powerful, the series transitioned to 3D and stole everyone's heart by a storm. The freedom that you have in this game is unmatched. Not even real life can come close to it. This feature got better and better until the GTA San Andreas that achieved perfection. I still believe no Rockstar game can top the GTA San Andreas. It wasn't a game anymore. It literally became part of our culture. Going forward to Xbox 360 era, if they could give the experience of lifetime with PS2 hardware, just imagine what they could do with this. Surprisingly, the next game was smaller and with less features. What? Why Rockstar? As always, fans start to cry before ever trying the game. But the game was perfect.
Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
GTA IV was in the Liberty City, which is the equivalent of New York City. The theme of the game was darker and grittier than San Andreas. The city was smaller with less freedom, but it was a good thing. Perhaps it was perfect. Just imagine you are cooking a food and you have so many different spices. Each spice is different. For example, one of them is good for cooking pasta, one of them is good for cooking rice. But should you use all of them in one food? Exactly. My point is, if you're trying to put all of these spices in one bowl, it isn't just unsavory, but it is borderline disgusting. GTA IV could have mountains and out-of-city areas, but it didn't need to. The compact city size was more than enough to make the game enjoyable. Why having a long-ass road without any content on it to go from one city to another? It's just boring. Not that I say GTA San Andreas was boring, but it could have been better without those filler roads. The smaller map means that there is more life on it. Everywhere you go, you see people, NPCs and cars roaming the roads, and it's just enjoyable to see your surroundings alive, breathe, move, and never get tired of the game. That was one of the things that differentiate GTA IV from the other GTA games. But let's talk about more important stuff. Weapons and physics. It's fair to say, in a game that is evolved around crime and fight, the physics play a big role in it. There are millions of ways that you can use to kill NPCs and everything you see in the game. One of such is the vast collection of weapons. You got RPGs, SMGs, assault rifles, or even a dildo. No matter what is in your hand, you know that you can demolish everything that you see in front of you with that. But in GTA IV, it was different. You didn't have millions of weapons that were copies of each other. You just had one or two weapons from each class. Unlike the rest of GTA games, they were usable and functional. For close range, you need to use shotguns because it is most likely a one-shot kill, but from range, you either need to use an assault rifle or a sniper. From the mid-range, the SMG would be the best choice for you because of the fast fire rate and fast reloading. Let's not forget the physics engine in this game that revolutionized gaming forever. The physics was so advanced for its time that the consoles of that time could barely handle it. That was the reason that GTA V was less advanced, because believe it or not, GTA V was on Xbox 360. Yeah, that's crazy, it released 10 years ago. Human and character physics aside, the driving and car crashes are in a different world of game physics. It really reminds me of the old games like Driver 2. Nowadays, vehicular games, because of licenses and deals that they have with the car companies, can't make them really realistic. And it really limits your experience and the joy that you can get from the game. Like Forza Horizon is a great series of games, but the crashes compared to driving and customizations look like a wet fart. Nowadays, the only way you can experience highly realistic driving games is by replaying classic games like GTA IV or even Driver 2. I'm not a big fan of highly realistic stuff in video games, but this game managed to do it just right. It found the sweet spot of how to do that. For the turns, you need to slow your car and brake. If you don't do that, you will most likely crash and either break your car or throw yourself out of the car. And the damage that you deal to your car is important, because if your engine gets certain damage, it will break and your car won't move again. And the slowness of the cars make the small map feels bigger and chases more intense. The environmental damage does not limit to just your vehicles. When you deal damage to an NPC, they react to where they got shot, and they don't just get shot and die. Technologies and visuals. Rockstar never disappoints us by delivering a visually stunning game, and GTA IV isn't shy from stunning. Because of the limitations of the gaming consoles of that time, they needed to be creative for what they chose for the environment. Because they couldn't render big and large maps, they chose to make this game in a city with large buildings. The large buildings helped the game to be beautiful and not be empty at the same time. And it helped the game by render less of the environment because you don't need to see what is behind the building, and they just can render what you need to see and make it as beautiful as they could. This game introduced so many new quality of life changes to GTA series, other than the great physics that it had. One of them is the covering system. In the past games, you couldn't cover behind something and shoot at enemies at the same time. It's true that it's very junky and bad, but it is at least an improvement to the other games. It was the first iteration of this feature, and it has so many bugs. They tried to make it better for GTA V, but it still has so many problems. I prefer the Last of Us covering system over GTA, but it is at least something. One of the improvements that really made me happy was the GPS routing system. It is a standard in today's games, but such a small thing made a huge improvement to the game when it was released. It just feels good to not have to open the map every second to memorize the route every time you need to go from one part of the map to another part. We can't forget about the parkour system in this game. I don't know why they didn't continue it for GTA V, but I really loved it, and I really want to see a more improved version of that in GTA 6. Just imagine how cool and enjoyable death matches would be in GTA 6 Online with the new parkour system and great physics and mechanics that the game will have. There are car rushes in this game too. You don't need to go there, but it is there, and it shows the passion and love that the past Rockstar has for the games. Internet cafes too. They played a small role in the main story and some side missions, but other than that, you didn't need to go there all the time. But it was a really great feature to have, and when I look at it today, it gives me a nostalgic feeling about the day and age that we need to go to an internet cafe to access the internet, and it's great to relive those days. Why GTA IV don't need a remaster? Now we come to the question why GTA IV doesn't need a remaster. Remastering is for a game that dated a lot, but in GTA IV's case, the game is fine. The only thing that needs to be remastered is fixing some bugs. I much prefer the Red Dead Redemption remaster because they already made a Red Dead Redemption 2. And most of the models and textures and overall the game is the same. You just need to transfer the story and some models from Red Dead Redemption to Red Dead Redemption 2 engine and make it a brand new game. At that point, it is a remake and not just a remaster. You know how Rockstar treats remasters. Spitting on their fans was more respectable than making that dog shit they call GTA Definitive Edition. They put so much filth on their reputation with that game that I can't even imagine it. Shitting on three of the most beloved franchises in gaming history aside, treating the mod community and suing them and taking them to court was something that I couldn't imagine Satan doing. They literally keep your games alive and bring so many new people to those games. Why did you need to do that to them? What didn't you have? How much money do you need? You already milked the GTA Online to the last drop it had in its veins. Because of that, I say GTA IV doesn't need a remaster. Either remake it or leave it alone. The game is fine. It doesn't need anything more. The community already fixed the bugs and made the experience 1,000 times better. It's true that console players can't experience the mods because they are made for PC. But console players can't even finish the base game. I literally couldn't finish the last mission of GTA IV in Xbox Series S because it has a FPS bug. I much prefer that they put all their resources into making GTA VI a great game, and 1 or 2 years after releasing that, if they want to release a story and offline DLCs, it will be great to use the new game assets and environment to remake the GTA IV and DLCs from the ground up. Thank you for watching.